Hi everyone, I'm really glad you're here with me today. This very hot viscous liquid here is my 3 resin concoction that I put together each season, each winter season around Christmas time. This is dissolving resins of frankincense, myrrh, and Baltic pine. And I use this in several different concoctions. My salve that I make, last year I made my Santa salve. Year before, it's had different names. Sometimes I just call it triple resin salve, but it is one of my favorites to make because, well, I think it smells just wonderful. Now, is it a great smell? Well, you can smell light bits of the frankincense and the myrrh. They're called tears. These little resinous chips are known as tears of the resins. And first of all, it's very slow to dissolve, and it doesn't completely dissolve. As a matter of fact, sometimes resins can be dissolved multiple times until you've used them all up. They are an economical ingredient to use because of that. There are certain concoctions where you should only dissolve the resins in alcohol. There are some where you can dissolve it in oils. You can actually dissolve some resins in vinegars. Do your research. They're wonderful ingredients to use. Something I will tell you, you should devote specific dishes to using resins. Because unlike many other things, it is a devil to get resin off of glassware. Because when it's not hot, it hardens. And when it hardens, it is a mess you just can't get it off. I mean, I suppose you could use a wire brush and really fight it, but I don't. I just use the same containers. And I'm going to be making today for you, I'm going to be putting together, of course, I'm putting together my Santa salve, but get that back in the shop. I meant to have this all done way before, but as I've mentioned in other videos, I went through a recent depression, and then I went through a problem with my back, and so I just haven't been in a place. I should have made my Christmassy things long before Christmas. So I'm making things that I can make now or replace, like my Santa salve. And it's ready immediately for people to buy it if they want to buy it. I'll put it back in the shop. And the other thing I'm going to be making is a soap. I recently made some more melt and pour that took me forever. That's a story for another time. I've made it hundreds of times, well, at least tens of dozens of times, and this time the weather just didn't agree with me, and because of my back issue, I got behind and things, so I didn't finish in a timely manner. But anyway, I got my melt and pour made. I had just enough Everclear to make a new batch. So I've got my melt and pour made, and I'm going to introduce into it my 3 resins and also some gold, some 24 karat gold, not fake gold leaf, but real gold. That's right. I wanted to make something really spectacular because my melt and pour always comes out with a little bit of an amber color anyway. It seemed like the perfect foil for gold, like this beautiful golden resin mixture and some gold. So truly, frankincense, myrrh, and gold. In the Bible, there's the story of the three kings who showed up at the birth of Christ and brought those gifts. And I'm certainly no child of a god, but I'm going to present the same. While they won't be gifts, I can't give it away. I'm going to make it available to you, so I'm far from a king, but maybe a king for a day. How's that? All right. So I'm going to continue dissolving this. I may have to put it back on the double boiler again and just keep working with it. And my oil, this is I just splashed. These resins have been sitting in the oil for about 7 days, and that's without heat. And then I add heat. And you have to do it gently. That's why this isn't completely dissolved. You could heat the oil up to boiling where you couldn't touch it, and you could dissolve this a lot more, but I don't want to damage any of those natural constituents, so I just go very slow, and I'm already getting a very viscous liquid here, which is what I'm looking for. This is a nice mixture of the resins. I'm already getting a very nice mix, and there's just one big blob still left in here that I'm working with and stirring. So I'm going to come back in a bit, and we're going to put the soap together. Sound fun? I sure think so. So I'm starting out by adding some gold flakes. As you can see, they're very floaty. So I want to make sure that these are good and suspended. I'm adding plenty of gold because I don't know how well it's actually going to show when I add in my resin oil. This is my frankincense, myrrh, and pine resin. I'm actually going to just add in the rest of this gold. I want this. Oh, there's some flyaway gold. This stuff is rather a little pricey, but I don't know. It just seemed well worth it. I want these to be special for my special folks. And I didn't want to add there is some beautiful artificial gold out there, but I had some of this, my mother's gold dust, and then I had ordered these little flakes of gold. You can also buy sheets of gold leaf, which are wrapped in tissue paper and all that kind of good stuff. Wonderful to use, but I wanted to keep this as simple and one step as I could for you all. So I got it pre-separated here. And I can smell that frankincense and myrrh and pine resin in this heated, melted melt and pour that I made. I generally call this glycerin soap. Oh, we're getting some pretty kind of gold waves in there. I like that very much. So I'm going to move this aside, get my molds ready. This smells so lovely. here to get rid of any bubbles. And there we have our frankincense, myrrh, and gold. So we're going to let these set up for a while, and then we'll come back and we'll unmold them. So unmolding these was easy, no problem, but there were some surprises. Let me show you. You'll notice that these molds have these ridge lines in them. I thought it would give such a pretty pattern, and it does. However, what it also did is because of those indentions, the gold flakes on the front sort of turned inward like this, so you can't see them on the front of the soap. See? You get the pretty pattern, the gold color, but you can't see the gold flakes. But if you turn them over to the flat side, there are the flakes. And this was on every single one that I went through. Nothing on the front and on the back. First I thought, oh, the gold floated up. But that's not, actually that wasn't the case. The case is that the lines, because I can see the edges of the gold, but they're like turned this way. They went into those cracks. Very odd. I thought at least some would lay down inside. There's a little right there, but the majority of it shows up on the back. And I'm okay with that. I think they're still lovely. They smell tremendous. I love the natural scent of the frankincense, the myrrh, and the pine resin. Adds just these tremendous fragrances that these notes of just, it's regal. I think they're just tremendous. They smell wonderful. And I think these are as much of a holiday soap as I can imagine. You'll see there's oil on my hands. It's very light, but because of the amount of the resin oil that I added to the glycerin soap that I'd made, there is a little bit of oil on the outside and handling all these. So, of course, before I ship them, I will make sure that they are cleaned off thoroughly. But I just wanted to show you show them in their best possible light, of course. And I wanted to be honest and show you that the rich side is quite lovely, a nice golden color, but if you want to see the gold flakes, they're on the back. And some more than others, because I added both the gold dust and the gold flakes, there is a mixture, and I think it's quite lovely. So I could not be happier with that aspect of it. And to me, it's about the ingredients, as with everything else. I was hoping for a more showy soap on this. I thought this would be so pretty with the gold flake laying against those, but it just didn't happen the way I thought that it would. And probably, through more practice and working with it, I could make them, make it a little showier, but I'm quite happy. Let me know your thoughts. What do you think? Maybe not for a king, but maybe for a prince. All right, everyone. I had a lot of fun putting these together. I don't know what your holidays are like or what your plans are for the holidays. I will be home here, and I'm working on putting together several different things, but I wanted to get this out to you today. My sales on my Etsy store have been astronomical lately. Well, I don't know how people that are terribly successful still manage to do other things, because it takes all my days, all the time that I'm off, just to get orders filled. And I'm not complaining, not at all, but I can imagine how difficult it is for those that, do this full time. And you would have to do it full time. If my shipments picked up any more than they are right now, I would probably have to retire from my job and do this full time. But and I love my job, so I love both. But I guess that's the bounty of the season. Anyway, I hope you all have a tremendous day. Thank you so much for visiting me, and I'll see you back soon. Goodbye, everyone.